Okay. Just make sure we don't come in front of the camera. So just stay behind this little area right here. And what I have done here is a no-no. I didn't have my cape ready yet. So, all right. So what is the proper caping for a styling service? Towel and a cape. So I have properly draped her. Something does smell good. Who sprayed something? Cookies. Somebody have a cookie hand sanitizer? Okay. So the way I'm doing it today, there's so many different ways to roll a roller set. How I'm going to roll mine today is just the most basic. You got a little granny comes in. She wants her hair rolled. I wouldn't necessarily use a big roller set like I'm going to use today because this mannequin has a little longer hair. I would, shoot something like this for a little granny. But the layout that I'm going to show you today is the most basic, and it will give this this client the most volume, things of that nature. So I am going to use the red. This is probably going to be the quickest thing for y'all to use. When y'all when you roll your mannequin today, I'm going to give y'all the leeway to use any. That's so sweet, Jeffrey. Y'all can use any size you want. Just saying, this is the fastest. Okay, so the handout that I gave you all, as far as I know, I spoke about it a little bit during. No, I think it was the other class. I spoke about it a little bit. So, as far as on the base, off the base, half off the base. On the base is going to be the over directing of the roller in the hair to bring back to sit on the base. Do y'all remember what I said, what kind of volume that's going to get on the base? No? Okay. On the base is going to be the most volume. It's going to produce the most volume. Then we've got half off the base, which is at a 90-degree angle. Okay? That's going to be straight up, and it's not going to sit on the hair that we pulled from. It's going to sit half on it, half off of it. And that's going to be medium volume, produce medium volume hair. And then off the base, you are going to direct it at you're going to pull it at a 45-degree angle, and it will be completely off of the hair that we pulled from. Does that make sense? And that's going to be the least, that's going to produce the least amount of volume. Any questions about that?
Why would you want, in the purpose, to create volume?
Why?
So in other words, why would you even want to
create volume?
No, why would you want to do less volume?
Just depends on what your client wants.
I guess I'll see.
Yeah.
I've never curled my hair or anybody else. I got a question, sorry.
That's okay, no. Like if she was wanting to have not as much volume but curls.
Something not too
Okay, so curls is not the same thing as volume, necessarily.
No,
So
definitely
you may
not.
have a lot of curls, but
Right,
not much volume.
right.
Gotcha.
Yeah, like I have curls. If I had wanted a lot of volume, I would have pulled my curling iron at a different angle. You know what I'm saying? Like I pull it at a, yeah.
Guilty.
I'll show you. Okay. All right. Okay, so as far as for your sectioning, has Miss Penny, I know she went over the 4-section parting with y'all. Has she went over the 5-section parting with you? Okay, really quick. So a 5-section parting is going to be, we're going to take about, I like to say, from this knuckle to that knuckle. I know everybody's fingers are a little bit different, but it's going to be like maybe from the center of each eye to the apex. Nice and straight. And you can place this accordingly, depending on how big somebody's head is.
So we just go back to the apex.
Yes, to the apex, yep. To the apex. And then that's the only difference. So everything else, I know that's a little off, everything else is gonna be just like the 4-section parting. So behind the ear, and then down the middle. So let me go ahead and part that off. In styling, I'm not as super picky about the partings as I am with the hair cutting. It's not ever not a good idea to, what's the word I'm looking for? It's always good to get good practice in. So if you want to, you know, get that practice in for the 5-section parting, because when y'all get to the 90-degree haircut, you will do the 5-section parting. She's a little catty-womper up there. Right down the middle and back. Oh. Uh-oh. If that ever happens at State Board, remove the cape and get a new one. We're just gonna take it off for right now though. Okay. Okay. Everybody see that? It's not pretty. Sorry. Okay, so 5-section parting. So, I know that I don't want any of these sections to be wider than this. Okay? I also know that I don't want it to be any wider than this in this width. Does everybody know why I wouldn't want it wider than this and this way?
Because you're not going to get all the hair onto the
Right. You don't want the hair, you don't want this hair pulled in, because it'll give that bad look. I mean, sometimes you can pick that out with a pick, those tracks. It's harder than it looks though. So it's just best just to not pull that in. So, well, you see that's pretty good. The sides might be a little bit, that might be where I struggle just a little bit, so I might recalibrate that. So, I'm gonna go ahead and show y'all really quick what, I'm a go back kind of person. I've already told y'all that. If somebody has bangs, or if it's a style that your client is trying to achieve, like where their bangs come forward, you can take this front piece forward. The rest of it, I would go back. So I've got this, the width there is good, and then the width here, that's what I'm gonna take right there. So I have calibrated my width here. And I'm going to show you, for wet styling, it's super important to get this nice and smooth, because that's how it's going to dry and that's how it's styled. So I'm going to show you on the base, half on the base, half off the base. So this first one is going to be on the base, which means it's going to lay on the hair. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to over direct it past the hair really quick. If you wanted to use any type of setting lotion, gel, mousse, now would be the time you would apply that. I'm not going to, but you just make sure that you keep that. I have over directed the hair. I've made sure that my ends are taken care of. They're not sticking out, flying away, looking all crazy. And then I'm just gonna tightly wind that back to where this beauty is sitting on the hair that I pulled from. Can you all see that? Okay. You see how smooth that is? And then this is gonna go underneath, and it's gonna, the flat part is gonna be against the scalp. And this roller is gonna slide right into the little pocket there. See how nice that is?
Would you have applied product to the whole head
Probably.
before you put it in clips?
Yes.
Okay.
Before I put anything on her, if I was going to apply, that's when I would have done it.
So not necessarily that one strand at a time.
I know, you don't want it to be super. Can everybody see that? And she is on the base. And so if you were to be using, we're not going to say that we can't use these pin curlers, pin clips, whatever. It's just, if I stick one of these right here, do y'all see how that sticks out? And it makes it's going to make it more difficult for us once we're getting to this area, like when we're trying to get these rollers over here. So we want something that's going to be convenient for us, and this is just not convenient for us. So everybody did have these the dual ones, right, in their kits? Okay, all right. So that is going to be the on the base. So like I said, I go back. If y'all want to take that front piece forward, y'all are welcome to. When it comes time for y'all, you can do your placement any way you like. I'm just showing you like the most basic. So I go back, down, 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 down. Everything is down from there. Okay. As far as the volume goes, where do you feel like the volume would be the most necessary? Which part of the head? Top. The top, because that's where most people want their volume. So I would, for me, I would do my on the base, on the base, on the base, maybe on the base these first few up here, and then I can go down from there. If that makes sense. But it's totally your preference as far as how much volume, or it's your client's preference how much volume. If they wanted boo-koodles of volume and like pageant hair and out to here, you're going to want to do on the base, on the entire head. Okay. Taking the right width. All right, don't look at what I'm doing here, y'all. This is sanitized. Okay. Write that down when I need it. All right, so super smooth, super smooth. This is going to be half on the base, so I'm going to pull it up at a 90-degree angle. Everybody see that? 90 degrees from the scalp. Oh. 90 degrees. Making sure my ends are taken care of, keeping good tension. Okay, now can everybody see where this is half on the hair that I've used here and half off?
So the base is the hair that you pulled up?
Yes.
Okay.
The base is the hair you pulled up. This one is sitting on the base. This one is sitting half on, half off. I'm a little particular. If I'm gonna do one thing, I like it to be like that all the way around. I like for my roller set to be nice and pretty. So if I'm gonna over direct it, I'm gonna over direct everything. But it's totally up to y'all. There's no wrong way. Just remember, the flat part goes underneath. I have them all mixed in. in here. I apologize.
If you don't start the hair off right, can you end up having a problem with tangling, with tangled hair?
Yes, that's why you always want to brush that out, get it nice and smooth. If you want to do your product, I would put it on there before you get her clipped up, when it's all together. And if you want to do the product on every single strand, I'm not here to, judge if you want to do that. It might be a little crunchy, but that's okay. We're going to brush it out, pick it out at the end anyways.
I was just thinking at the very tip of the hair.
Very tip. Yeah.
When
And
you
it might
first start
help.
and you're rolling it over.
Yeah.
If you bend it out.
Oh yeah. Do not bend. Yeah, for sure. You want
that tip is bent over something.
It won't look right.
So it does matter.
It matters that those ends.
Straight.
That's why I said make sure those ends are taken care of. They're rolled under. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to show y'all the problem that I run into when I feel like it's when you do something that's not on the base, and it just bothers me. So everybody getting volume here from me. Okay. Well, I said okay. Give me a second. Sorry.
Is this when you use this right here?
Yes. Yeah. That's what you're going to pick those tracks out with. You have if you have tracks at the end. And I use that even if they don't, but just for those little grannies, make sure everything's nice and lifted and pretty. Okay. So, does everybody see how this curler's kind of sitting on top of this one? That bothers me. It really bothers me. I like for things to be, in line. So, but it works out pretty good because I'm actually going to bring this one at 45 degrees. But if I wasn't, you see how hard that is to bring that, if I was going to over direct this one? Yeah. It's not desirable. So
when you're doing something like this, do you want to keep it consistently wet?
Yes. Yeah, for sure. For sure. And she's already kind of getting, not as wet. So, we're going to go with it though. So yeah, but you definitely want her to be wet. That style will work better. Okay, so we've smoothed her out. And this one is going to be brought at a 45-degree angle from the base. So not here, not there. We're going to bring it about right there. Y'all see how smooth she is? Take care of those ends. Nice tension. You see how that is completely off of the base.
If you're doing like all off the base, would you want to start from the back and go forward?
It's completely your preference.
That way it's not laying on top of the hair you're trying to do.
Mm-hmm. Completely your preference. I'll need to go get some more and separate. There's one. Nope, I lied. That's not one. There's one. Okay. So we have on the base, half on the base, off the base. Any questions? Okay. And then as far as these go, like I said, I would do probably one more right here. Probably. And then the sides, we want to make sure. So this is a little too thick right here. So I'm going to recalibrate that. Excuse me. Subway is like not, goodness. That's still a little thick.
I apologize. Did you say on the base gives it more volume?
On the base gives the most volume. Yes, sir.
Look exactly. Can you show me exactly what you mean?
Yeah,
just
of
don't
course.
know what you mean.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'll come over there. But what is
Okay.
on the base?
So on the base, we are completely on the hair that we pulled from.
Ah, I got you.
Do you remember how to
And
achieve
this
that?
is on the back side. Overextend.
Yes, you overextend to produce the most volume.
Okay. And then when you go straight up, you're going to be,
Half on, half off.
okay. And when you go back at a 45, you're going to be off.
And that's the least amount of volume. And it's pretty common sense as far as, because that's going to be the most,
It's logical.
It is logical. That's what I love about hair. It's very logical.
Yeah. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, of course. No, you're fine. If you ever have any
I'm
questions.
sorry to ask you any questions.
No,
Oh, you're asking stuff that we probably want to ask too.
exactly. Okay. All right. So don't forget, we need to measure that. I know about right there. I'm really up close with this camera now. Woo! Get her nice and smooth. And I'm gonna do, what am I doing right here? Which one is this one gonna be? Hmm? Which one?
On the base? Oh, half off.
Half on, half off.
Mm-mm.
Well, that's going to be on the base.
On. I'm over directing. If I wanted it to be half on, half off,
So it's 90 degrees from the base
From-
of the hair. That
from the
you-
scalp.
Yeah.
From the scalp. And this is kind of a curve, so it's a little awkward. But if I'm pulling it straight up like this, that's over directed.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
I thought you were just on it straight up.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause
No, I'm
it is
sorry.
straight up, but it's
90
not
to-
straight from the
No, it's
scalp.
from the scalp.
Right.
So perpendicular from the scalp is half on, half off.
Yeah, 90 degrees, yep. Okay. But I took care of those ends, nice and tight. And she is gonna sit on that base. Can we all see that? That might be a little bit of a better one.
Because you can still see that part that you
Right.
made.
Yes. Ah. And then, so I would go down, 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 and then the same thing in the back. Take those all back down.
So
Okay.
when you change sizes of the rollers, like when you want a tighter curl or like the
Mhm.
small for tight curls and then those for like the biggest curl.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. This is going to produce like the round brushes. The bigger, the smoother, less curl you're going to have. The smaller, tighter curls.
When you're doing a client, are you typically going to stay with the same pattern and tightness? Like, in other words, you're showing us as an example
Yes.
with the first three, but typically, are you going to stay consistent with, you're either going to put it all
I
on
like
the
to.
base, or
I
you're
like
going to
to.
do it all half?
If
half
I
on, half
do,
off?
if I change it up, I like to do every other. Does that make sense?
But you have
so-
some choices, so every other, which one?
So okay, so I'm not gonna use a red one and then I'm gonna hop over here and use an orange one. You would want to use the next closest size to this. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So
But it's
the
one
next
thing.
closest size for my red one is going to be my green one. So if I was going to use red and green, I would do red, green, red, green. Or let's say she had some layers, and some of these hairs will not go into this red. I would want to make sure that I would use the green ones down at the bottom.
Okay. But what about your consistency on the base or off the base or halfway on the base? Like, in
So-
other words, if you're just doing one person, you're pretty much going to do all
I
on the
typically
base or off the base.
So typically I will use on the base for the top portion, and then as you go down the head, it just depends on how much volume your client wants. Like I said earlier,
Okay.
like if it was like for a beauty pageant, some kind of, where she wanted like luscious volume, like super big hair. Like
Yeah.
I would do on the base the entire head. I was going to say something else too, and I forgot what I was going to say.
Come on.
Oh, these. How, so let's say she kind of had shortish hair, and you were kind of on the fence as far as to whether you should use a red or a green. You want to make sure that the hair will wrap around this at least twice. Okay. You also have the half ones. They're for in these little tight pinches, like right in this area. You'll see that? It's a little awkward. Or if you have another awkward place, you can put a half one. I'm funny. I like things to be nice and in order. I don't like to use those. But the layout, as far as the layout, do y'all have any questions? I mean, y'all can get as crazy as you want. Y'all can keep it as simple as you want. We do have some product over here. I would say I'm a moose girl. So if y'all, I'll get a few of these out if y'all want to use the moose. Might help as far as keeping it. The wetter it is, the better it is as well. So, so we've talked about the clip, the type of clip you use, on the base, off the base, half off the base. Product. Any other are there any questions? No?
When you apply mousse, or you can only apply it to wet hair. Is that right?
I do. I don't ever apply it to dry
Do you
hair.
comb it through, or do you?
You can.
You can.
Yeah.
Because did it get
I just
stiff?
put about a quarter size, nickel size in my palm, run it through my hands, and then run it through her hair. I try not to get it on her roots, unless it is a root boost mousse. And it's a root boost, but it looks like a mousse. But you would get that into her roots.
Doesn't it get stiff, mousse?
Kinda. It gives you hold. It's not super like gel. Gel is you gonna be stiff. You're gonna be crunchy. So it is. That's just how it is. I don't know. A lot of y'all are so young. Do y'all remember the scrunchy look? Yeah. Girl, I rocked the scrunchy look. Okay, I rocked the scrunchy look in high school. That was the easiest thing. Wake up, shower, put some stuff in my hair, and walk out the door. Let it dry on the way to school.
My mom did that, so I did it.
Hey. So, if there's no questions, I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all get started on your roller sets. Okay, and we can use these or the back thing. We don't have